Please tell me what we are. Please tell me what you are. Have you had time to compute what the hell went on last night? Ridiculous. I can't get my head around it. I really can't. It is unbelievable from West Ham. What are we? If you're in the comments, let me know what we are. I am trying to scrape myself off that ceiling, and I feel like I keep saying it every single bloody week. Every single week. It's mental. I honestly, I'm lost for words. And I know we're supposed to put out some content for you, but I am literally lost for words. Last night, I mean, the euphoria in the house where we were watching it was mental, like absolutely mental. And it'd be the same if you weren't at the game, wherever you were watching it. Even if you were watching it on your own, the euphoria around your head must just be mental, let alone being at the stadium where you could hear them roaring like you wouldn't believe. What an absolute night. I can't believe it. West Ham are through to the semi-finals of the Europa League. Who would have thought that at the start of the season? Who would have thought that a month ago? Who would have thought that? Because I certainly didn't. But you know what? I'm a half-glass full West Ham fan. I put the faith in what Moyes is doing. And again and again and again, he gets the doubters, doesn't he? He proves the doubters wrong. Sometimes you doubt over team selection. Sometimes you doubt over the lack of depth that West Ham have got. But he doubts, he just puts those doubts gone, dead and buried, and he just proves to us that he knows what he's doing. You could say within reason. But listen, I mean, in the modern time, as a West Ham fan, I can't think of a moment like this. I really, really can't think of a moment like this. It is mental. It is actually mental. I'm going to bring on Luke to join me today. Luke, how you doing, mate? You okay? Have you recovered?
I don't know what day of the week it is in a minute. It's just crazy. Look, it's context, right? Is massive, and I think that this is like it almost feels. It didn't even happen last night because 3-0 is like.
Mate,
I think everyone's forgotten about the Brentford game. I think that's for sure.
That's the thing, though. You know what? I think I've seen a lot of comments actually going into the game saying if we win tomorrow night, as in last night, people will just park the Brentford result. And that's exactly how I feel. Like, look, going into the game last night, right, my mindset was everything all over. You know, I had everything going on. I was excited. I was worried. I was sweating. I was nervous. I was buzzing. I didn't know how really to control that whirlwind of emotions. And as the game was getting closer and closer and closer, I was starting to really panic and really worry. And then the kickoff happened. First couple of minutes, Lyon had a couple of chances. And at that point, you're thinking, right, okay, we're keeping them out. You know, we're keeping them out. And then we started to go into the game. But what was your initial thoughts going into the game, mate?
I was talking to people at work and stuff like that about it. And I thought to myself, there's no Zuma. There's no Creswell. Our backs are against the wall. And I was worried, to be fair. I was like, we've come this far, and just when we don't need it to be, we can have things going against us. But at the same time, I think as any West Ham fan will tell you, experienced West Ham fan, that is when West Ham can give you the most of themselves, when we don't expect it, when we least expect it. And, you know, everyone's going, you know, Diop's awful. He's not been very good this season and stuff like that. We don't want to rely on him. We've got no one at left back who, you know, Johnson plays there, but everyone prefers him to play on the right back. So that's going to, you know, make things a bit more difficult. But I don't know about anyone else. I was like, what will be. As long as they give it 110% effort, and you know that they're doing everything. We could get beaten well, but as long as they turn up and try their best, that's all that matters. I think most West Ham fans would have said that. But despite, I think they had an early flurry of about 15 minutes, crosses going in and stuff like that. We didn't look out of place at all. You know, there was a few shaky moments in the box where they were looking for handballs and stuff like that. But my nerves, pre-match nerves, bearing in mind the beer helped. Not gonna lie, but
you would have needed that.
My pre-match nerves were gone within 15 minutes because I thought, do you know what, we're giving it a go. Every time we get the ball, we look confident. So yeah, pre-match it was a little bit what will be, but soon after, mate, you know, that all went.
Ridiculous, though. I mean, I can't believe him. We'll kind of dissect the game. We're going to do the player ratings as well, and we'll kind of show images from before and after the game itself. But yeah, the semi-finals, mate, of the Europa League. I mean, if I'd have said to you at the start of the season, but then I can even fast forward to a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, can you really fathom the fact that we're in the semi-finals of the Europa League?
Do you know what? It's funny because I've been joking the last few weeks saying that our top 4 chances are quite scarce now, but there's still a chance. Obviously, Brentford, the result probably, you know, puts them into that to concrete that we won't get it. But I was thinking it seems to be that our last hope and all our eggs are being put in the Europa League basket. And I'm thinking, put into context, right? We're hoping West Ham, our last hope of having a major successful season is for West Ham to win a major European trophy. And I thought it doesn't come into fathoming that you know. I think at the start of the season, most people was thinking, you know, we kind of wanted to get Champions League last year. We were 3 points away. It was very, very close. But it's still, you know, the more you think about it, thinking, well, no, it's the Europa League. It's Europa League. It's still a massive competition. You know, you've got some really good teams in there. And the more you kind of go, well, West Ham are moving up to another level now. We should be aiming for Champions League. We should be doing this. We should be buying these sort of players and everything like that. There's still the part who goes, this is West Ham. The fact that I'm being West Ham on the Europa League previews on the thing. Oh, here's the last 8, and we're in it. And then I'm watching the TV on BT Sport, and I'm seeing the score bar. It's just West Ham, Seville, and this isn't a pre-season game, is it, mate? No, that's not a pre-season game. This is genuinely cool. I'm thinking, you know, I don't know how you feel, but it's just mental.
Mate, I can't get my head around it. You know, I'm sitting watching it with my dad last night. My dad was very fortunate enough to physically be there the last time West Ham got to a final. When we won the final, the 65 European Cup Winners' Cup. And he was there. And last night, just sitting watching him, you know, when the goals were going in. And then I think when the third goal went in, I mean, he got up and we all celebrated and he sat down and he kind of was just like this. He had his hands in his head.
Exactly the same.
And I think I was doing the same, but it really, you know, looking at Dad doing it, like, I've not saw Dad do that in this modern time. I think the closest I've seen Dad do that would be the FA Cup final of the modern time back in 2006. But this is the European Cup, and this is very, very different. Yeah. And we're playing teams all around the country, Europe and stuff. And just seeing him, and Dad was in pure shock last night. He was in utter shock. Yeah, but we all were. And he was just flabbergasted by it all, and I was as well, and you were, and every fan. But equally though, like what you know, I left this game last night proud, so proud. I've been so proud, and even when a sense of doubt kicks in, there's no harm in us being critical. But sometimes I find when a sense of doubt comes in, Moyes just goes, "Shut that down, shut that down, shut that down." You don't want Dawson? I'll give you Dawson. You don't, do you know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous. People doubt Fornals because sometimes his final third wasn't doing it. But, I mean...
one of his best games last night.
And look at the stats at the bottom there. Pogba, his game by numbers, 66 touches, 12 times his possession was 1, 7 crosses, 5 duels, 1, 4 interceptions, 3 chances created, 2 take-ons, 2 big chances created, and 2 assists.
I'll tell you what feels even better, and this is a bit of a side note, but there's a bloke, I've had a thing with a bloke at work saying over the last 3 days, right, if West Ham win, we'll do a tenner's bet, a £20 bet. And he's been going to me the last few days, been going, right, 4-5ers, please, 4-5ers for Thursday. I'm going, yeah, okay, we'll see. And then the Lyon, their Twitter page, the winking from Dembele and then them saying, "Is there a chance?" That couples it, you know. I'm hoping that David Moyes had a massive A4-6 poster plastered in that changing room
Of
and
Dembele's wink.
of everything, of the tweet, of the whole thing, because
I don't know if anyone's seen this. I mean, I don't know if you heard Declan Rice's interview after the game. He referenced that tweet from the admin that Lyon put up. He actually referenced it, and he said if there was any fuel to add to the fire, that was exactly it. But a couple of images have come out from the game last night, and this is one of my favorites, I think. And we've put it on our social media and asked people to give us their best captions. So if you want to give us your best captions for that picture. But I think what made the game even sweeter, especially in the first half, was Dawson's goal, because Dawson, the way Pablo Fornals put that corner onto his head, but the thing was he put it in the space. It wasn't on Dawson's head. Dawson had to run, I don't know, at full pelt. And the person that was marking him was Dembele. That's what made it even sweeter. And it was right in the area that you want the ball to be. And that just shows you how dangerous West Ham can be at set pieces. It was a bloody amazing goal, mate. What a great goal. Just a simple goal, but very, very good. And even better because Dawson just doesn't give a shit, mate. He just goes for it and attacks it, doesn't he? Look at your face, mate. Look at your face.
This is what I love. I just love hearing people. I love hearing people talk about how they experienced it and stuff like that. But the funny thing is you're describing the goal, and I'm remembering what was happening in the pub that I was in last night watching. And it was quite an end-to-end game when you think it wasn't hostile. It wasn't like time wasting. I think the referee, there's been a lot of praise to the referee last night. He let the game flow, and you didn't really know who he was, which is what you want from a referee, really. Unfortunately for them. But I remember there was a few chances going in. I think we had that one where Antonio did really, really well on the left-hand side, crossed it in, and Bowen just didn't quite. He had to stretch a bit too far, and the goal didn't go in. And then when it went in, the pub I was in was having a pool tournament, and we were like the little ones in the corner watching the West Ham game. We weren't that loud. And then I think about when it was 2-0, all the pub just went, "What is going on over there? What game are they watching?" And it was like everyone started going, "Oh, and then we're 3-0." The whole pub was going, "Oh my God, it's 3-0, it's 3-0," and it was incredible. I was due to come home straight after the game, but that weren't happening after the game.
No, of course not. I mean, it's amazing to listen to all the comments because still can't believe what I witnessed last night. Unbelievable. And so something special is happening, and you can quite believe that. Absolutely. I mean, it is special now. The season, I mean, it was always special beforehand, but now we're in the semi-finals. This is going to go down. These last two seasons, look, for me, have been so like it shows that, I think back to predictions, right? I think back to predictions earlier in the season, and I kind of said that top 6 and a cup run, a cup run and win a cup, right? That's what I actually said, if I'm being brutally honest, right?
Right.
But right now, I want us to go the whole hog. But I kind of predicted last night, or I said last night, that whatever the result last night, we as fans can walk away totally proud of what we've achieved, because we've went to Europe and showed Europe what we're capable of doing. But it's not the fact that we've just given up. We've actually just smashed Lyon, mate. We've actually smashed Lyon. And look at this stat running along the bottom. They've only conceded 2 goals in their 4 home games in the Europa League this season. And then came along West Ham, 3-1 game. And then, Declan Rice collects the ball at the edge of the box, mate. Takes a touch.
I said don't shoot because I don't think he's very good at shooting.
He's got better. He's getting better.
He doesn't normally balloon. He's worse than Antonio when he shoots. He normally goes right over the bar. But we watched the replay and we saw. I'm not taking it away from him at all. But I think the deflection was pivotal in that. But he done well to get a shot. But I was thinking this earlier. 3 English players, 3 English goal scorers. In France.
Shout, good shout. Didn't even think of that.
So, everyone's saying that Dawson can't go to the World Cup, including me a little bit, because I don't think Southgate would be able to fit him into that role. But that's down to Southgate being.
Well, could he not?
Not as good as manager as David Moyes. But if he keeps it up, if Dawson lifts the European trophy, is he capable and is he good enough to be called up for the World Cup? That would be my question to Gareth Southgate. Yeah. Surely he has to be. After the season with Maguire, that as well. I know he plays well for England, but still.
But mate, when Declan Rice gets that ball just before halftime. What a time! What a bloody time to score a goal to take your lead further ahead. And he scored it, and the euphoria, mate, the euphoria wherever you were watching the game. And again, it was one of those moments of just like, what is going on? Like you're going mental. And once you calm down, you're actually sitting looking at the game, and you're thinking, we're 2-0 up. We're 2-0 up. We're 3-1 up in aggregate, and we're 2-0 up on the night. Like, what's going to happen here? And then you start to think about last season, how several times in the season we went 2 or 3-0 up.
Yes, that's
and
what
you
I
were
was
starting to think, like, will we now, backs against the, back heels, go backwards? And I had family members there, and some of my sisters were saying, "Oh, will he make substitutions now?"
I was saying don't go 3-0 up. I was saying don't score third.
Will they protect the lead? And I was like, you panic and you're thinking, oh, yes. And then actually you think about it and you go, no, because that's the problem sometimes. The problem is when you try to protect that lead, especially if you don't have the ability to do it, then that's when you start to give away goals. And that's what we've done in the past. But 2-0 up at halftime, mate. Euphoria.
Can I just say before you go any further, I don't like to see it. And I like to see it, but I don't take it in too much. But what I did hit me quite hard last night, which is quite nice, was when Rice kissed the badge in celebration after his goal.
So I brought this up very briefly in the review. I jumped on the review at the end when Matt and Russ were doing the review, and I don't want to get carried away with stuff like that, but equally though, it was like he rammed down the fact that he was kissing the badge, because they always say, the two things they say: don't fall in love with a lone player. So we've been there, done that, wore the t-shirt, and don't get carried away when a player kisses the badge.
Yeah.
But he ran away, and he was like borderline snogging the badge, mate. I mean, he was literally stuffing it down his throat. But you know what? It's lovely for fans to see. I don't want to get carried away with it. It is lovely for fans to see. But you can see that this special feeling is in around the squad and the fan base and the atmosphere is that, everything's ticking the boxes right now. And I still can't get my head around the fact that West Ham are doing this with the thin squad that we've got.
Yeah.
But we've had, it's funny the amount of times we sit here and we say, or people have sat there and they've said, oh, but we need this. Oh, but we need that. I just wonder if we had this and that, i.e. a number 9 that wasn't Antonio, would we be in the situation we're in? Because we're going to come on to the ratings in a minute, but I just want to kind of dissect the game a little bit more. We've come out in the second half, mate. Jared Bowen smashes the ball into the back of the net in the 48th minute. 3-0. I mean, at that point, I celebrated. I looked at my dad, and my mum was sitting there, and I actually said to my mum said to me, what does that actually mean? And I was like, it means that they would need to score 4 goals to win. It was when I was saying it out loud, 3 goals to equal the game and 4 goals to win the game, like to win the all-round aggregate score.
Yeah,
and I couldn't fathom it. Really, I was like, we are in absolute dreamland. But from that moment onwards, mate, and from the earlier on in the first half, Lyon really couldn't get at us. And every player that needed to step up stepped up to the plate. So I'm going to come to you with one question or one person I want you to talk about. Diop, mate.
Yeah, it's quite strange. I think when he was in for Zuma, he was abysmal. I mean, the bloke seems to be, getting on. They all seem to get on with him. There's obviously camaraderie there. A lot of fans didn't like him. I think they killed him into the game. I think he was one of his worst games, something along them lines. And then Zuma come back, and I think he had a few sub appearances, and he actually played well in a sub appearance. I think he could come on for a couple of minutes, something like he'd done all right. And then last night or at the weekend, obviously, I think it was a fault for the Tony goal. We didn't mark up properly or something along them lines, and he just thought this is the worst possible time when we really need Zuma at the back. We're gonna have the one bloke we don't want at the back is Diop, and I've nothing against him. I just think he's been a bit below par this year. Anyway, the game, he made a few little hiccups. I think when he went to kick the ball, he didn't quite kick the ball, and Dembele was trying to score and stuff like that. But overall, I think he was a colossal last night. I think he proved a lot of people wrong, including myself. But like in the same, I think it was a combined effort. It wasn't anyone particularly. I mean, has anyone else got? I know Dawson scored. And everyone's loving Dawson and stuff like that. But has anyone got a man in a match, an actual man in a match they pick out and go? Last night, this bloke stood out. So I think as a team, they all pulled each other.
They did. Yeah, they did. I mean, I want to bring another player into this equation because a player that's maybe being dug out a lot this season because we've not seen him score as many goals as what we've been used to, and that's Tommy Souček. And in the preview, I brought up a stat that showed you that he was second in the whole of the Premier League for running stats in the Premier League. 350 kilometers he's run this season. Some ridiculous, crazy numbers. But last night, what we saw was the absolute cream of the crop, prime Tommy Souček. You know, he was intercepting absolutely everything. He dictated that midfield, constantly dictated that midfield. He'd done everything under the radar. And I remember because you do like match day lives and when you commentate on the game, and when you try to commentate, and I like to commentate in the game, and I know everyone comes in and has a bit of banter, and I like to commentate in the game. So I've become so accustomed to doing it. So when I'm watching the game, even when I'm at a game, I'm sometimes like, Zuma passes the ball to Creswell. Creswell pushes the ball forward and he's going to switch it. And I'm saying it in my head, right? And I was doing that last night, but I kept saying, Souček intercepts, Souček intercepts, Souček intercepts. He constantly intercepted. He collected the ball and he spread the ball out wide. He done all of the donkey work last night, again, so did Declan Rice, but allowing Declan Rice to get further forward. And then there was occasions that Souček was getting far forward, trying to win the headers because there was plenty of bottles going into the box. But I'm just throwing. Everyone, like you said, mate, they stepped up. But I'm just throwing names in the hat. It's ridiculous.
I think everyone had at least a good lease of life last night, and it was just. I mean, look, I'm in a pub drinking with other people, so my mind is sort of going elsewhere, and I'm just looking up every now and then, and the game itself. All I remember was doing was, I think. Fornals had his little moment of being a left wing back again, didn't he? When he was sort of helping out on the left hand side and going forward. And I think to a man, I don't remember what subs we brought on. Actually, there's one thing I know. Noble come on, and it was right. So I don't know what the subs come on. Yeah. But it was just. I think Lanzini is getting more and more physical. Actually, more physical than I remember him being. Which is good to see. It means that he's not really worried about his injury like he was. And just to a man, every player stepped up. I can't really go through an individual player's performance. Apart from Areola. Areola made a couple of really good, important saves. I think were under the radar. They weren't as like Hollywood as his save against Seville, but he made some really, if they go in, it changes the game.
Absolutely. Another positive thing, though, mate. Another positive thing from last night's game is that Declan Rice didn't pick up another yellow card. Therefore, everyone's disciplinary record is wiped. It starts afresh, and we are ready to rock and roll. Look at this image from the dressing room last night. I mean, the players must have been absolutely buzzing. Ogbonna was there dancing in the stadium with all the fans as well. And look at this picture from Mark Noble. That's what it means to him. That's what it means to us. And he lives and breathes that every single day. And you can only imagine what it's like to be in that dressing room, let alone, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you support West Ham. We all know what this victory means to us as a fans base and clubs who win trophies on a regular occasion, the Man Cities of the world, and maybe the Chelseas, etc. Certainly not the Tottenhams of the world. But the point of the matter is that because we don't win it, they don't realize how in a lucky position that they are. They take for granted the situation that they're in. And we are, it's massive. Of course it's massive. Look at West Ham, little old West Ham that's not so little. We've got the big London ball now that massive. We're trying to settle in.
Massive.
Yeah, exactly. We're not little, mate. We are massive. Before we get into the player ratings, I'm going to jump through some of there's loads of comments. So I need to let me do that as well. So let me just have a look at some of the stuff going through. West Ham have kept more clean sheets than we have conceded goals in the Europa League this season. 10 games, 6 clean sheets, 5 goals conceded. The most clean sheets in the tournament. And like I said, Lyon had only conceded 2 goals in the 4 home games in the Europa League. And then along came West Ham. This is the last 4 teams in the league. West Ham have the most clean sheets. Frankfurt are unbeaten in this season's Europa League. Rangers have got the most goals scored. And Red Bull Leipzig have unbeaten in the last 7 European games. But Frankfurt, mate, next up, the first leg at home on the 28th of April. The second leg away from home.
Actually.
You what?
Got to buy my ticket, actually. I forgot.
Yeah, mine's sitting. It's sitting in the basket.
Yeah, basket.
It's sitting reserved. Yeah. I'm actually just trying to work out because I think you can buy additional tickets, but I don't know how to. I don't know how to do it.
I'll look into it. and
I need to sit with you
find out.
and work it out. Yeah.
I'll do it. There's a couple of blokes I know who are Barcelona fans at work, and they were really hoping that we got them in the semi-final so they could come with me to London Stadium and try and get a ticket in the Barcelona end and stuff like that. But it would be my dream, actually, personal dream, to see West Ham play at the Nou Camp. And
not anymore, mate.
No, I know. It's funny because one of our mates last night was actually looking at it. He said, if we go 2-0 up, we were like, oh, come on. He was like, if we go 2-0 up, I'm booking the flights after we go 2-0 up because that would be my thing. And he was on the Barcelona page on booking flights. And then, obviously, the scores are coming while we're playing. And suddenly we're going, Frankfurt, do Frankfurt, don't do Barcelona, do Frankfurt. And obviously, in the last minute, they had a penalty and it was all like, but no, for me, Frankfurt is going to be a dream. Actually, I think people like your dad will appreciate having Frankfurt because of that game that they played in the 60s. I think it was.
Yeah.
The one that we lost, but they played so well, everyone loved it. So I think people like me would have appreciated a bit more having Barcelona because it's my era. Barcelona's that bigger team, and I think people of an older generation say. As nice as I can say that without it sounding patronising, that'll be a good thing for them because that'll bring back memories of the old games. So
yeah, absolutely.
Everyone's got to win out of it somehow. So it's going to be tough, but yeah.
I think every game's tough in the Europa League, no matter what stage it is. I mean, the first game
made it look easy last
played,
night, though.
Well, Dinamo Zagreb, the first game, and I think all the way back to that, it was always going to be tough. We're away from home, and look how we kind of settled into European football. But mate, at the start of the season, if I'd have said to you, we're still playing European football at the beginning of May, nobody would have believed me. If I'd have said to you we're in contention for the top 6 as well as European football at the beginning of May, no one would have believed you. I wouldn't have believed myself, mate. I would not believe it. It's what our hopes and dreams are, and that's what we've done. Toby is saying we have quite possibly the best centre back in the world on current form. And if you think on current form, he's kind of right about that as well. Harry Page, wow, did we just do that last night? What a game. Did you hear Burnley sack the manager? Ridiculous decision by Burnley, but hey ho, that's up to them. That's what they want to do. Yeah. I really want Dawson to be Hammer of the Year. I know there's an argument for Jared and Declan, but we have to go and put into context the fee of £2 million. I agree. I think there's definitely an argument that why the 3 of them stand up and be accounted for potential Hammer of the Year. So it could be a 3-way battle. Acid made a good point. After the Burnley game, we have Arsenal and Chelsea. Do we preserve a couple of key players for the semi-final like Dex and Bowen and maybe Antonio? Key question. That's a key point here. I was talking to family members again this morning. We have a small squad. So we can bring in youth players. Moyes consistently wants consistency and motivation and all that sort of stuff going into these games. I think we might see Mark Noble utilised a little bit more. But I don't know if you'll see a dramatic amount of changes as what I could be completely wrong here, but mate, we are 3 games away from winning European football competition and qualifying for the Champions League, and 6 games away from not guaranteeing anything in the Premier League. So the priority does become that, but what you don't want to happen is not get that, but we should get that because of where we are in the league. We should get something from where we are in the league.
This is as much. If you're a gambling man in the comments, gambling woman, gambling person, anyone who knows gambling, this is the biggest gamble in West Ham's recent history, and I'll tell you the reason why. So prior to Sunday, the Brentford game, there were a lot of people that I know that I heard on social media saying we should play a second fiddle team or as close as we can due to our small squad. Now that to me sounds a little bit like we're going to throw the Brentford game because the Lyon's game more important. I totally understand the context. I'm not having to go at anyone because I understand it. But then when we played the Brentford game and we saw how out of sorts we were and how much more on top of us they were, everyone come out of that game on a downer. It was, this is crap. What the players doing? Why weren't the players looking up for it? They look, out of sorts. And I just personally think they look exhausted, just the same as they did the Spurs game. And I think that as much as we're on a high now, and it's fantastic, it's brilliant. we've got a bloke like David Moyes who doesn't look at those competitions as going, no, do you know what? That doesn't matter. This matters as well. And I think that's the mentality. And as much as we lost to Spurs, we lost to Brentford, and there were poor performances based on the fact that we were exhausted pretty much. I don't think the players are allowed to look at these games like they're nothing. And then you look at last night and you think how much our performance levels went up. And there's no doubt in my mind that all our eggs are in the basket for Europa League. We're going out to win it. There's no. It's amazing we won last night the way we did, but there's no doubt in my mind that they've gone right. It's all on this, because top four is very unlikely. If we do go for both, we're going to kill ourselves. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
So I can understand people saying let's change the whole team for Burnley. And this, that, and the other. I do understand it, but I think to a level, if we do that, and then Frankfurt's a difficult team. It's not going to be a walkover. So we've got to keep our heads a bit level. It's not going to be easy. I don't think we should just go right. We'll play all the youth in the Burnley game, and let's just see how they get on and concentrate on Europe. Because if we don't, we fall down the league. It's gonna be an amazing thing we did in Europe. But we still got to remember the league's just as important.
And I think this is a fantastic comment from Adam. The ref you didn't notice, that's the mark of a great ref, should get the final. You were so right, mate. And it wasn't about, it was completely fair. It really was fair. There's a couple of times I've seen a couple of decisions and I shouted, oh, no way, get up. And then I looked back and I thought, no, it was completely the right decision. It really was. And what a contrast from the first leg, because the referee in the first leg was ridiculous. Acid Joke said, Alvin Martin on TalkSport saying how Bowen Antonio was. I have to agree, he was a beast. And I think when you listen to a lot of the old players, and pundits, they have so much respect for Antonio. I think for games like Brentford, it wasn't a good day at the office. It really wasn't an Antonio game. But when you have an Antonio doing what he did last night, he did, mate, hold up play. He did hold up play. His back was to the goal when he held up play and he brought in the midfield. He was so effective. Did you see that chest down? I think it was for Jared Bowen, when Jared Bowen then slipped and then tried to feed into another player. He was doing all the right things, and that's the Antonio we want. Right now, I think we're getting kind of one performance really good and then a half-average performance from him.
So not really blame him for either, really.
But he's on 40 appearances this season.
I know.
I mean, who would have thought that?
We said it last night. As long as he's ever been playing for West Ham in one season, it's mad.
Absolutely. Pat Holland fan says, Anton's still buzzing and have been smiling all day. Yep, I'm the same, mate. I'm the same. Off topic, did you see Frankfurt had 30,000 at the new camp? What the fuck? Yeah, I know. Mandy G, 3 goals in one game, but could have got another 2 if we needed to. RTL Cup run, Anton, it's going to be a cup win at the current rate. Absolutely. I'm 20 minutes behind in comments, so I'm going to have to try and jump through some. Robert Singleton, I said 2-0 win yesterday, but I really didn't believe it. Is Crazy still banned for the next game, or is it just a one match ban? So he is back. Toby saying
don't need him. Constant at the back.
At the moment, Dawson is the best centre back in football, outstanding defending and always scoring. Dawson ahead of Maguire any day and night. He is available. There you go. Let me just see. What a wonderful feeling it was. Half an hour still to go, and we had won it. Yeah, absolutely. Smandy G, Rice snogged the badge, not kissed it. That's true, though. He did. Someone should send a video of Dawson to Maguire to see how the game is played. European sides not used to West Ham's direct style of play. Lyon, where Man City light passing a lot. Chris Harris. The thing with our squad in the main is that when you kiss the badge, it's not a hollow gesture. There's actually love for the club there. I do believe that. Yeah, absolutely. Hope you're well, Ian Barron. Good to see you. English Yardie. The last 2 seasons have been unbelievable, to be honest. It's a dream. On this Good Friday, I'm off from work, having a cup of coffee, a hot cross bun, listening to this beautiful conversation. And we love having you here, mate. We love having you here. Yeah, absolutely. And Neil, the third goal was beautifully constructed. Rice to Antonio's. No, exactly. To Fornals to Bowen goal. Issa was wobbly at first, but settled well. Diop was practicing with his cat. I can't. It was a nail. This West Ham team can be defending on their own 6-yard box and still only be 3 passes away from scoring. Absolutely. Cannon Town pie and mash. Thursday nights are not for everybody. Dawson and Fornals man of the match. Oh man, comments. Well done, chaps. Good show. Thank you. Antonio, man of the match for me. Best game he had in months. I tell you what, let's get started on our player ratings because we could be here all day, but we do need to go. So let me bring on to you the first player rating, and that is going to be for Areola. So I'm going to put this one over to you, Luke. What is your ratings for Areola?
I'm going to say a solid 9. The only reason why he's not got a 10 is because my heart dropped when they hit the post in the first minute, and he didn't have it covered. So he calls me to have a bit of a little heart moment, and I was heart in mouth moment. So no, he was fantastic last night. Yeah, pretty much faultless. So 9.
I think it's I think I got to agree with you on him, to be honest, because he commanded the box really well. He did make a couple of one particular good save, but you could actually see him screaming and shouting. That picture really does it justice, because that is what he was doing all night. And I think there was one occasion that he didn't come out and collect the ball, but equally though that was because Dawson and Diop were there clearing the lines. So yeah, I think it's going to be tough not to give keepers or anyone in this ratings a high score. But you know what? Everyone's got their own opinion on it. Gaza says 7. Toby Sampson says 8. Distribution was awesome. Made at least one amazing save. Ariel on point 8. Troj says 7. Ariola 9 from Ludders. Steve Bell says an 8. Pat Holland gives him a 7. All the ups and down, gone through the since 79. This is one of the best times. Sam's saying 8. Not busy enough tonight. I know, but there's an extra point there because he's buzzing. So you got yeah, absolutely. Crosshammer 8. Jack's in the house. Good to see you, mate. Thanks for joining us. You're giving him an 8 as well. Adam Cook 8. Peter says 8. Ariola 10. Luke taut and perky. Love that. Love that. Right, let's move on to our next player, and that is Diop. Rate Diop.
Okay, I'm gonna give him. Look, we just won, so I'm going to give him all high ratings. Let's face it. But I think for him, I'm going to give him a 7. Right. It wasn't perfect, especially at the start, but he grew into the game, and he was reliable, which he hasn't been for quite a few times this season. I feel like I'm really critical when we want to go high, and I should be critical. I should be overly praised, but no, I think he's 7. He's solid 7, going on to an 8. I think he was really good last night.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Crosshammer says 7. Toby says 7. He was good, but a bit wobbly. Steve Bell says Diop 7. He gets an 8 from Peter. Budgie's giving him an 8. Gaz is giving him an 8. Pat Holland fans giving him an 8. Jack's giving him a 7. Ludders is giving him an 8. Mandy says Diop gets a 9 from me because he got yellow early, and there was so much pressure on him. Valid point.
Yes, I forgot about that. No, that's a good point. Yeah, massive
point, Mandy. Yeah, and it's true, because it could have been, the way that we fans maybe think he was going to play. Yeah, you can't do all you want.
Give him an 8 for that, I think.
Vinny gives him an 8. Richard says he gets a 7, one of the best games this season. 8, love the sliding challenge on Camby. Yeah, absolutely.
Let him know you're there early. I said last night. Let him know you're there.
Yeah.
That was the most Dawson-esque challenge he's ever made.
Oh, mate, absolutely. Troj, Diop 8 is long ball up to Antonio, led to the corner. Rice accredits himself, his father, and mother, and his father. Any young footballer trying to make it. Absolutely. Robert Singleton. Diop 8 carrying a yellow card doors early. Diop 8 grew into the game. Diop 9. Stephen Baptiste gives him a 7, and English Yardy gives him an 8. So it's now time to move on to his centre back partner, Ballon Dawson. Look at that bad boy. Go on, Matt. Matt, I was going to say, look.
Used to it by now, Matt, isn't it? That's probably the worst picture you could have used of Dawson of last night. But,
I don't know, mate. The stretch. Look at the stretch.
Sexy old legs. Yeah, 11 for me. Yeah. He's just colossal, isn't he? Yeah, the goal was the most Dawson sort of goal ever. Done the right thing. Just solid. Just solid. He does it with a. It's weird, right? Because he does it with a certain grace about him. Because he is old school, and I expect in the first leg when he went through about 3 or 4 of them right near the end of the game and was making some really good tackles. Didn't really need to do that last night. He just seemed to go about his game quietly but brilliantly. And I'm going to give him 11 for the goal, because that put us on our way to scoring the goals we did last night. So for me, I'm not even joking. It's an 11.
I'm giving everyone's comments. I'm putting them in. Artel says a 10. Crosshammer 10. Peter says an 11. Jack Max says 9 solid. 10 from Toby. Didn't make any mistakes, won everything and started the scoring. Troj is saying Dawson can be less than a 10. Dawson 9, but for the goal 10. Ludders gives him a 10. Mandy G 10. Massive. Ruby 11. Stephen Baptiste 10. Let's get a solid 10. Dawson 10. What a header. Dawson 10. Massive. 11 out of 10. Budgie 10 could sell Dawson for 100 million quid from Peter. Ballon Doss, the Lion Tamer 10. Dawson got done at start by Akembe, but he ran around and hit him and hit the post. But it was very similar to the Brozier goal. But yes, but he dealt with him after that. Gaza Dawson 12 for taking the ball in the face. Ginger Pelly 2, yeah, he does. Ballon Dawson 10, loved it when he squashed Dembele's bicycle kick, and his goal was awesome. Dawson gets a 10. Like an extra striker. He's quite a handsome for centre back as well. Well, I tell you what, right, while you're at it, let me see if this is the one. I was talking about this the other day and it's really random, but let me find it. Sorry. I'm slightly going off topic here. But if you've ever seen here it is here. Look, you want to see someone handsome? Where is he? Where is he?
Okay,
Look at that. Look at him. Look at the handsome boy there. Let's see him. Look.
Easy, ladies. Easy.
I know. That's from the programme from last week's game. Hawes and Curtis. I'm like one of those fans that actually reads the programme from back to end. So,
David Martin still exists then.
Well, yeah, he does. Yeah, absolutely. £2 million bargain, absolutely. One is the game at both ends. English Yardie 10. Oh my God. I mean, there's so many comments. I'm not going to be able to read through them all. 12, 14, 10. The concussion only made him stronger. Andy Dawson for the new James Bond film. Could be the new 007 when he retires with that tux. Absolutely. So it looks like Craig Dawson's getting one of the man of the match performances from last night. Right, Ben Johnson, Lukey boy. What do you think of Ben Johnson last night?
8, solid 8 for me. He, especially in the first half, I think him and Fornells worked really well on the left hand side of the pitch. For me, he's our. It's a bit difficult to say on the left-hand side, but the right-hand side, he's our best right back for me. I see the reason why. I think when a youth player comes on or becomes part of the setup, you've got a lot of energy for him. You've got a lot of you want them to succeed because they're a youth player, but at the same time, you're a little bit wary that they're a youth player, and you sort of worry that they're going to make a mistake. You worry that they're not going to look as comfortable in a team as another senior pro would do. And with Johnson, I don't fear him at all. I don't know. Even since his first game, I never looked at him going, Johnson, come on. Oh, good, someone else has got the ball now. They'll be okay with it. They won't lose it. Right, with him, as a youth player coming through, he just seems made for the first team setup. For me, he's the best one we've got. I think pace-wise, he doesn't normally get beaten very much. He's very good going forward, his distribution. And last night was just absolutely fantastic. This kid's played... I'm not saying kid, I might be a bit patronising, but this lad has played against Sevilla and against Lyon and been basically, especially against Sevilla, one of our best players. And that's a youth player. That's the Academy of Football talking there. And he has been rock solid and highly dependable. And I think when, Safal's come back from injury now, and we'll get onto that in a minute, but I didn't want anyone to walk back in the team. I thought Johnson hasn't done anything wrong, and he should have kept his place over anyone. Everyone's played well, but I think last night he's again another faultless performance.
There you go. 8s and 9s all round in the chat. Troz is saying, does Creswell walk back into the left back position? I'll let yous in the chat discuss that, and we'll talk about that as we move on through the shows. Ballon Dawson is actually in the house. There you go. Sorry I'm late. I trust you gave me an 11. Yes, we did. He's on our own. Ben Johnson, he's one of our own. I say Johnson was 8 as a minimum. So there you go. Johnson gets an 8 from Luke and 8s and 9s from all of the chat. Next up is Vladimir Sufal back in the team again. Rate Sufal.
I'll give him a 7. I've been very critical of him this season. He said himself that he's been playing with an injury, and I know that, I can understand that. And he said that since he's come back, he's not had any pain in his groin like he did before. We went out to have surgery, so that's a good thing. I was very critical of him against Brentford, but then I was critical of everyone against Brentford. And someone said to me, look, it's his first game since he's come back, give him some leeway. And then last night, I thought it's like he's never been away. He was, he was really, really handy on that right hand side. I think he worked really well with Bowen, with Souček, and then Antonio went onto the wings. And hopefully he can get back to his best like he was last season, because he was immense last season. Really good. So hopefully it's the start of him getting his form back. But like I said, you can't really fault any of the players, but specifically individuals. He was really good last night, so it's a solid 7 for me.
Obviously, coming back from that injury, it's a big injury to come back from. But one thing he does offer is his deliveries. His deliveries are immense. And even last night, when he was getting into those dangerous positions, he was getting the balls into the box. And 9 times out of 10, they were heading for a West Ham player. So Lyon were struggling when he was putting the balls back into the box. He's got a really, really lethal cross on him. So I think him and Souček obviously offer something to that whole squad. And it is fantastic to see. So there's 8s and 7s and 8s all coming round from everyone in the chat. Sofal, hope the knee is in the nuts again, won't affect him. Jonas says Sofal 8. Peter gives him a 6.5, not back in form yet. Is Jono going to sign a new contract, or is he going to Watford just like that? In Gakia, Sofal from Troj 8. He was up against there. Antonio gets a 6. 6.5 from Paul Walsh. Sofal passes, let him down. English Ari 7. Sofal gets an 8. Jack Mack gives him a 7. Let's move on to Mr. Pablo Fornals, mate.
I'm going to give him a 9, like I did Areola. He was fantastic last night. I think there's one thing with Fornals. You kind of get the impression that he's a lot of work rate. He's good at passing, everything like that, but his final ball seems lacking. But I think every one of his final balls went somewhere last night. He was the constant engine
stats at the bottom, yeah.
Constant engine, was everywhere around the pitch. Was always an option. That's always something that is for a midfielder you want. You always want your midfielder there or thereabouts, so they can be an option for when you're coming out of attack, especially the character that we played last night. But he was immense. Probably one of his best games ever for West Ham last night. I think when he got the ball, you sort of relaxed and you thought, right, what's he going to do now? Because him and Lanzini worked really well in the middle, especially with Vincent as well.
Absolutely. Artel gives him a 9. Steve says Fornals 9. The Engine. El Fornicator 9. Pat Holland fan 8. Fornals 10. Work rate unreal. Fornals 9. Never gives up. Crosshammer 9. He was offensive man of the match. Fornals 9. Grew into the game and could have played another hour. Fornals easiest 9 to date. And Kembe was the top scorer in Europa and also scored the goal that Cameroon the World Cup did. Fornals is an 8 all day long. He works so hard. 9 all day long from Paul. Jack says 9, controlled the game very well. Keep it simple in the right moment. Stephen Baptiste 8. I love Pablo Fornals. He's my hero 9. Fornicator 10. Budgie gives him a 9. Hardest working guy out there last night. Adam Cook. Fornals 9, she never stops. Brilliant pass for Bowen's goal. 10 from Troj. Fornals is our most underrated player. Absolutely. Don't forget that pass. Chris Harris. Fornals 9 optimised what the club was last night. Heart passion, done his usual mileage, was difference maker and what mattered. 9. And there you go, another under the radar, most likely hammer of the year. Michael F is an 8. The Dugout Football Channel, congratulations, guys. Thank you very much. Doug, hope you're well, mate. Right, okay. Pablo Fornals was great last night. 9, always plays with a smile. The comments, sorry, I was just getting messages there. The commentators took the absolute piss out of Lyon last night, saying they could play till midnight and not score. 9, and was covering superb. Benny wouldn't have covered so foul like he did. Absolutely not. Right, we need to move on and get through the rest of the team. And the next one up is Tommy Souček. Rate Tommy Souček.
I'm actually going to say to you to do this because I don't remember seeing him as well as you did, because you've given him a glowing report of Souček, but I don't remember. He played well. I'm going to say give him a solid 7 again.
Nah,
but I didn't see him as well as
I know. I am going to give Souček a 9 if I'm being brutally honest with you, because I actually, if you think about the game as a whole, you think about our midfield players that they had no control, even though they had, I think, quite high possession. I think I've got the stats here in the game. Oh God, I've just clicked on the wrong one. What have I done here? It's ridiculous. This is something that I think is really testament to West Ham as well. 67% possession to Lyon versus West Ham's 33% possession. But I couldn't remember really what they did in penetrating our midfield. Honestly, the amount of times that Souček intercepted the ball, he was the breakdown of Lyon in the middle of the park, the complete and utter breakdown. Fornals done all the work rate. He was also another breakdown. All of those players in that middle of the park. Lanzini done his job, as well as trying to be creative. He worked really hard. He was nipping and collecting the ball. So it's going to be tough for me to score any of our midfielders low, because they all performed to the highest of standards. Souček's performance last night was an under-the-radar performance, but he was so effective in the job that he did. For me, he deserves a 9. So we'll see what everyone else in the chat says. Where are we? Oh God, there's so many comments here. Dugout channel, I don't support Kelly, mate. So I don't know what you're talking about. I don't support them. Robert Singleton, even when they're 3-0 up, lost the ball. Foul, in my opinion, was left in the arse, jumped up, sprinted back into the defence. Artel gives him a 9.5. Souček says he gets an 8. Dugout channel, great to see West Ham in the semis. Thank you. Michael F, 8. Souček, 7. Rice will stay. This was his best night. Souček, 9. Brilliant. Hammerhead, potato salad could actually pass yesterday. Crosshammer gives him an 8. Souček, 8. Gaza, come on, not a 6. Pat Holland fan, 9. Hammerhead, 8. Souček, 8. Done most of the donkey work. Souček, 8. Robert Singleton, 8. Souček was a 7 for you. Good afternoon from everyone. Hope you're well, mate. Jack Mack, 8. Peter gives him a 7. Souček, 8. Plays better when Sufal plays and always bails out his brother. He ran his socks off. 13 days of Ramadan fasting today on Friday. Good man. Hope it's going okay. Stephen Baptiste, 8. He wasn't seen much, but did what he did well. 8. Sorry, don't have to say sorry. Souček, underrated. I'm giving a 9. Thanks, Joan. No, we don't have any friends that support Man United. Souček, 10. Leaves everything out there. Souček allows Rice to be Rice. Absolutely. Troj, 8. A good 9. Great deal of the ball. Best person to ask if Deck. Hi all. 9. Rice would have to work much harder without him. Joan was more of last season's. Souček, 8.9. 8, 7. It's just so many comments. It's really actually quite tough to keep up with. So it's really nice to see, though, and keep them coming in. And thank you very much. Declan Rice is up next. Got a goal, bagged himself a goal. Get your comments in and let me know your thoughts on Declan Rice's rating. Luke?
I'm going to give him a 9. His goal was sort of like the nail in the coffin, I think, a little bit for Lyon that he scored. But once again, all over the park, brilliant tackles. Really distribution. Just a midfield man, isn't he? He's just the engine in it. There was comments last night that it was so worried that Diop was playing that Rice would have to go and play as a makeshift centre back,
yeah.
and then come forward into the midfield when we're attacking. But the defence played so well last night. I don't think he has to worry about that. And like I said, earlier in the video, I was kind of sort of thinking to myself, don't shoot, because I don't like it when he shoots. I don't think he's a very good. He needs to improve when he's shooting. And then look at me. He knew to hit the ball in such a way that it would hit the defender's foot and bounce over the keeper's glove. He was that intelligent. He thought, no, I'm not going to smash it in bottom corner. I'm going to lift it onto the defender's foot so he can kick it in for me. And no, it was brilliant. He's fantastic. And an extra little point maybe for the kiss of the badge, but I'm holding out on that because I hope it means he's staying. That's some sort of message to say that he probably loves West Ham and he's not going to go to Chelsea and play with his mate Mason Mount. So hopefully that's an omen, and that's the message to us West Ham fans that he's here to stay. So 9 for me for Rice.
Yep, absolutely. Everyone in the chat's pretty much 9, 10s. There's a 91. Someone scored him a 91 as well.
Brilliant.
Rice gets a 10 from Budgie. Perfect performance in leadership, was rightly praised by Nobes in the post-match interview. Don't underestimate Decker's football brain. Yep, could have made a fortune if he had his own brand of rice. Unfortunately, Rice... no, I'm not going to read that. I don't know what you mean by that. Epic hash time. I'm not going to do that. Hammerhead, I was in love when he kissed the badge. Absolutely. Right, next up is Mr. Lanzini. Ain't nobody like Lanzini. Makes me happy. Plays the West Ham way. Get your ratings in for him. Lucky boy.
Yeah, I'm going to say an 8. An 8 for Lanzini. I think he was... It's quite strange because everyone says we sort of... we miss his creativity and his link-up play when he doesn't play. But our link-up play was so good overall last night. I don't think it mattered whether he was on the field or not. Not in a horrible way. Like we didn't like miss it as much as we do because he didn't need to be that prevalent because the whole team were playing so well together, and that really helps him sometimes. He's getting more and more physical. I don't think it's because he's getting a bit more aggressive in his old age as he's getting older. But no, he was fantastic last night. He was brilliant. He was all over the park and really linking up play well like he does. And glad to see him playing and then putting his foot in. So yeah, for me, solid 8.
Absolutely. Quiet night for Lanzini. Did a lot of the ball work. 7, Paul Walsh 8, Lanzini 6. He said gives 10 out of 10 for Rice. James Sawyer says, where's that comment gone? 8 for Lanzini. It's just jumped to about 1 million comments. Lanzini 7. Pat Holland gives him an 8. 10 goal, his leadership. Oh, that's Rice. 7 for me from Crosshammer, but that wasn't his best. Lanzini 8 was great at times. Manu 8.5. Lanzini, the glue that sticks us together. That's a good point. Good analysis there. 8 Lanzini, link player. He gives us the balance. Manu was playing like a prime Ronaldinho last night with all the nutmegs and skills. Absolutely embarrassed some of the Lyon players. He gets an 8 from Chris Harris, Adam Cook an 8, James Bong 8.5, Mr. Hammerette. You'll love that as well. Manu was on fire. 9, Seaside Hammer 8. Troj 8. Lanzini looks stronger this season in training preseason, and the more deeper roles improved him. Absolutely it has. Let's move on to the next player, and that is Jared Bowen. 15 goals he scored this season, 10 assists or something like that. Ridiculous stats coming from Jared Bowen. What's your rating for him, mate?
9 for Bowen.
9.
Yeah, I think meeting Danny Dyer was the best thing that happened to him. He's up his level. He was good anyway, and he's even better now. With her. His goal was brilliant last night, really well taken. I think to do that on your weak foot when you're under pressure, and I think there's a part of him that thoughts, if I take this extra touch now, the defender's gonna cover me and he's gonna stop this shot going in, and take it to sort of keep it as low as he did in the corner. A perfect shot with his right foot was fantastic, and it's great. He was, like I said, he was a live wire all over the game. He was an option, always an option, and I don't even know how to describe him anymore. You know, one of the sort of players who just goes, he's unplayable. He's our Messi in a way, and he cuts in from the right hand side on his left, magic left foot, magic right foot, giving that goal last night. So it doesn't matter what foot it is, he's got a goal in him. So yeah, solid 9 for me.
Loads of people agree with you. 9s and 10s all the way around there. Troj 9.
If you
lose the ball.
If you bring up that Noble picture, actually, I don't know if you've got it, the one that Noble's crying in the changing room. He's definitely received a naughty text from Danny Dyer, and definitely his reaction in the shorts. Good old boy.
I think so. 10, Bowen 9, 9.5 from Budgie, off the scale from Bowen. Amin gives him a 10 from Gaza. Stephen Baptiste 9. Danny Dyer's son-in-law gets a 9. Trojan says also Bowen is getting better at winning the free kicks now. He's going down and getting nothing earlier this season. Absolutely. Bowen 10, and he can now finish from Troyes. Did you see Danny Dyer tweeted Bowen hugs my daughter? Love it. 9. Bowen 9, 20 plus goals next season. Yeah, mental. Bowen jobs to Hammerhead. Absolutely. There you go. So 9s and 10s all round for Mr. Jared Bowen. And last but not least, in the starting 11, that is Mickey Antonio. I don't know if you've seen his tweet last night. He said, I can't hold it in anymore. What a great tweet it was. West Ham are massive everywhere we go. Time to rate Antonio.
Absolute solid 9 for me. One of the best players on the pitch. Back to his best. It's funny because my dad's a huge fan of Antonio, mainly because he says things like, on his day, Antonio could probably get into any team in the world. Right? He said it before, and I think he was really excited to see Antonio in Europe because the defenders wouldn't be able to handle him. They wouldn't be able to handle his physicality and the way he puts himself about. And last night, that was proved it all over. It wasn't just up front. He was on the wings and he was taking defenders on, and it wasn't just bullying them. He was making them look stupid by putting the ball past them and running onto it. And I think that he was missing a goal. He hasn't scored for a little while, and I must admit, before the game started, with all this talk that he was saying about a special celebration, I was like, he hasn't scored in about 10 games. I was thinking, might be this is his way. You can't say all this and not score. Bearing in mind, I'm not thinking we're going to win 3-0 just without him scoring anyway. So there's me going, come on, Antonio, step up to the game. You can't be talking like that and not back it up. So he didn't need to score, and I'm a bit gutted he didn't see the celebration because I really would have liked to see the celebration of him. I'm thinking maybe he could have jumped on Jared Bowen's goal at the end and done something to the camera, but he was fantastic. But that's Antonio at his best. He's unplayable. No one could take him. Just missing a goal. It would have been a 10. If he scored, it would have been a 10. But it's not. It's a 9, and he was immense.
I'm using that picture, GP, because it's the one he used himself in his own Twitter feed, and it's just really funny. But 9. Why have you used the picture of busting one out, man? Did you? There's 9s and 10s going round. Best performance of the year: Troz 10, Antonio gets a 9 from Douglas. Cardboard cutout 8. Paul Walsh gives him a 9 outstanding. He had something else. Antonio was massive. I was so impressed. 9. They stood off Antonio and let him turn. They feared him. 10 from Budgie at man of the match. Absolutely class last night. Absolutely awful picture of Anton. He definitely had them scared and played his part. Antonio's crossing is really good lately. There you go. And there's all the player ratings. Now we do have a couple of subs that did come on the park. I'm not going to rate Benrahma. He came on for like a minute. And maybe not really rate Yarmolenko. So really the one I want to rate is Mark Noble, because he had kind of more playing time. I think I'm trying to remember exactly the time he came on at. I think I've got it here. If you give me 2 seconds. When did Noble come on? 77 minutes. So he had a good 15 minutes. What do you think of Noble?
Mate, honestly, I didn't see Mark Noble at all. I'm gonna I caught after 3-0, my mind just went this. I was in dream world, and I was catching. All I kept saying was, "We want 4, we want 4. Come on, let's get 4." The ball kept going over, and I must have just literally missed all of his game, because I held my hands up. He was the one player that I didn't really catch very much of. But I will let you rate him, because you saw him a lot more than.
No, I'm just letting the fans do it. 7, 8s, and 9s. A couple of 6s. Beast mode just needs to break.
Give him a 10.
Oh, you're talking about that's Noble gets a 9 from Budgie. Nobes 7, an extra point for his expression at joy full time. Nobes an 8. Nobes was excellent, full of energy. 8. Noble in 7 played well and defended well, and that really brings an end to our ratings. And honestly, mate, it's been a pleasure having you on again. I know, listen, you know what I mean. It's a pleasure that we're always on having a chat with it, and it's just been a nice show because of things. Semi-finals of the European Cup. I can't believe it, but we're there and we've done it. And it's been amazing. Oh, well, sorry, people want me to rate Moyes. There we go. Let's do it then. Hit me up with a Moyesiah. Rate Moyes. On you go then, if you are watching. Go on, Matt. Matt, look. Sorry.
Do I look like him or something? Do I sound like him? Yeah, I better do. I'm going to have to give him a 10. I have to give him a 10. To go to Lyon, away from home, keep a clean sheet, score 3 goals, have us all really annoyed at him after the Brentford game. What is he doing? What's the Moyes side doing? Why don't we even turn up for this game? And have everyone wanting him to be a part of their family. He's changed. He's changed the club. That in a nutshell, he's changed the club for the better. And the scary thing almost is it's just a start. So it's crazy. I thank him for what he's done. I said last night as well that I thought he was a cheap option. I didn't want him, and I still think the owners got lucky with him. I think he was in an interview actually this week, and they asked him about the Man United job and what he thought about looking back, and he said, "I wish I'd have taken it 8 years after I did, because I've grown as a person. I'm a better coach now than I was back then." And people can call us, and I call myself, I agree with them sometimes, we're Everton Mark II. We are the second of his Everton team that he had back in the day. And maybe we are, but it doesn't matter, because he's working absolute wonders with us. And he's putting us on the... What is happening now is quite interesting, because this is kind of what the owners said we were going to become when we moved stadiums. And they said we're going to try and compete with the elites. And we've not done it in the way we thought we'd do it. We thought we'd be doing it with a world-class manager, with a world-class team that's cost hundreds of millions of pounds to put together. You are a tea lady, actually. I say that. You do that one anyway. But he's done it in a remarkable way, and a fair play to him. I think he deserves all the praise he gets. So he gets a 10 for me.
Right, cool. I agree with you 100%. Everyone else is in there as well, right?
I know, you're laughing.
Last one. I'm laughing. I'm laughing because there's people wanting to rate the tea lady, you name it, everything.
Yeah,
rate the ref. Last one. Rate the ref. Go.
10.
10.
10.
Yeah, I got to agree with that because he let the game
Faultless.
flow and he was. Yeah, I can't
One
really.
of the only
Oh,
games
do you know what? I can't give a ref a 10. I'm going to give him a 9. I can't just do it.
one of the only games I've ever watched ever in football where I haven't heard someone go, "Come on, ref, what was that?"
Yeah.
About it. Everyone just seemed to go, "Okay, that is what it is."
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We need this ref to for the final. He understands hard but fair. Hopefully we do get to the final. If you are interested in becoming a channel member, you can click this link. Click that link. That will take you to look at all the tiers and the processes that we do have coming up for the channel. Join us at 5 o'clock for the Hammers headlines. I think there will be a stream later on tonight as well. Check in and see what DJ Russie B is doing. You have to click the bell notification if you are to know what stuff is coming out. So click the subscribe button, click the bell notification. That will then notify you when our shows come out. West Ham are massive everywhere we go. West Ham are massive everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. Lucky boy, take it easy. Thank you for joining me. Stay safe, everyone, and come on, you Irons.
It's like a family tree, part of you